Hey guys, good morning and thanks for joining. So last night we discussed about administrator and also admin profile under system. So let's go and start with different other tabs as well. So next one is firmware and registration. So firmware and registration, it will provide about each and every device, whatever it is onboarded to this firewall. It will provide about host name, it will provide about the serial number and also what is the version and the operating mode. So or firewall deployment. Operation mode we can also call as firewall deployment option. So maybe you can ask now, what are these different types of devices it is located in this one. So these devices are basically for the network architecture diagram. In the firewall side where this particular firewall is deployed, so it contains the firewall and also it contains internal firewall or data center firewall. It contains the switches, it contains the other devices also. So like access points, wireless controllers, there are so many devices. So all those things they deployed via architecture diagram. That architecture diagram, it contains these many devices. So that is the reason we can see all these different types of devices, not only just firewall. Okay. So if you are going to the respective device and if you can click on the uh, arrow, so you can see that what is the respective device is about and what is the serial number and also what is the firmware version it is utilizing. So for every device, we will come to know that. So that is about firmware and registration. This one is called as a logical network architecture diagram. So that one we can see under the network basically. Okay, here it is missing now. So basically under the network, we can see interfaces and also we can see physical topology and logical topology. Under the logical topology, how this firewall is deployed. So like whatever we discussed about Sophos CDR under the threat graph, direct graph and full graph, correct? Analyze graph and full graph. Same way, we can see under the network also there are physical topology and logical topology. So how the firewall is deployed in the California USA location. So because the device is deployed in the California, so that location it will provide everything. So what are the different types of devices as per network architecture diagram in simple words. So how we define the network architecture diagram, same way. So they deployed the firewall. So for that network architecture diagram to firewall, these many devices are connected. So port access point, port switches, and port wireless points, all those are connected. And wherever you can see green mark, it is like online. And also wherever you see red color, it's like offline. For example, you can go and you can see first one. So this is switch. So I have go to that particular so device and I just showing as a arrow mark and it is showing as a Fortinet switch. So the Fortinet firewall. This is 601. Maybe this is our data center firewall. Okay, internal firewall. There are two different types of firewalls. One is perimeter firewall and also data center firewall. This firewall is belongs to the data center firewall. Okay, so this is 601F. Okay, so and also this is also deployed as a NAT. And also we have other devices like you can see this is another device. So this is IFSW. So this one is a PORT AP. PORT AP means port access points. This one we can be used for the mainly wireless monitoring or Wi-Fi monitoring. In this similar way, if you are going to this one, building access point, this is also access point. So this is the way. Give me 1 second. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Okay, sorry guys, apologies. Yeah, so these many devices are connected to Fortinet firewall. So all those firewalls are showing here, and also all these version number, firmware, and also registration status also showing here. So that is about firmware and registration. Next, you can go to settings tab here. Under the settings tab, so here host name is next generation firewall. So nothing but our water firewall is deployed initially. We have to configure the system configuration only. So host name is they given as next generation firewall. Maybe our office is located in Hyderabad and we are a part of the Wipro. Then in that scenario, what we can give the host name as a next generation firewall Wipro hyd.com, so that we'll understand easily. So meaning here next generation firewall we are using, and so Hyderabad location and Wipro as a company. So that is the way how we can, and also we can see underscore primary. So PRA means primary, or SE means secondary or backup. In such a way we can give the host name to understand easy way. So current system time. So this is not our India time. It is based on the US Pacific time. You can see here GMT -8. So they took Britain time as a baseline. So -8. So is a part of the US. Okay, so Pacific time. Not Pacific means not Asia Pacific. It's a US North America time. So next one is time here NTP. NTP we can already So how we see if we want to allocate the time, basically we can go and we can use either through manual, either through PTP, okay, uh, point to point protocol, or either through we can use NTP, network transfer protocol. So network transfer protocol is like an NTP server, network time protocol. So NTP server. So this one we can utilize, and how many devices we are using in our organization, all those devices we can sync up. So respect to time zone with our local time. For example, right now our time is 9:39 IST time zone. We can configure that one our NTP server, and each and every device we have to onboard into NTP server, and we have to sync up that time. So there is no need of doing I mean manual way. So take example, in our organization it contains 5 lakhs all the network devices, that may be endpoints or servers or databases and routers or switches, load balancers and so on. For every device it's going and configuring manually, it will take longer time, and also we can waste lot of time. So to mitigate that one, we can use NTP server. In the NTP server, we can onboard all these 5 lakh devices, and we can push all those time zones to respective devices. That is called NTP. And what is the port number? What is the port number?
20.
What is the port number?
123.
123. Enter a question. Yesterday enter the question. And select server, it's a FortiGate. This FortiGate, what is the FortiGate importance? Yesterday we discussed already. It will provide FortiGate
updates.
Yeah, it will provide regular updates. That may firmware updates or software updates or antivirus updates or whatever license we purchased, or even it will provide the entire OS update as well. So regularly we'll receive that one. So that is called POTI card. Okay, and sync interval. So every 60 minutes it will sync that POTI guard, and whenever any new releases are releasing by Fortinet company, then Fortinet company will sync up the FortiGuard. Through FortiGuard, we can get the updates. So that's why they integrate with the FortiGuard. Okay. So listen on interface. So listen on interface except FSW and AGG. It's aggregation. AGG means aggregation interface. Whatever this traffic is coming, so the device NTP server is listening via so aggregation interface to integrate all these local time to devices times. And administration settings, HTTP port is 80 and redirects. Even though you are accessing this particular device via HTTP, you cannot access that one. Compulsory it will redirect to HTTPS. Right now it is HTTPS. HTTPS // fortigate.portidemo.com. So that is the URL link. Correct? So same way here. So even though you are trying with okay port number 80, because of the already SLTLS certificates they purchased, I think self-sign. So because of that one, it will redirect that HTTP request to HTTPS request. What is the record? We can use this one. What is the DNS record name? What is the DNS record name? What is the DNS record name?
So I didn't get the questions.
What is this DNS record name? So HTTP, even though we are using HTTP, it is converting HTTPS. So what is this DNS record name? How many DNS records we
CEN.
discussed?
Around 8 to 9. 10.
8 to 9 or 10 we discussed. So out of 10 records, what is this particular DNS record name?
CN names.
C name, not CN name. C
Sorry,
name.
CN.
C name. Converting one form of web browser into another form of web browser is called as
Canonical.
canonical name record. Yes. We are giving HTTP of the web browser name that is converting or redirecting into HTTPS. That is canonical name or C name record, not CN name. Okay. And so additionally, even these particular FortiGate, we can access via additionally through SSH port number 22. Why we have to access the port number via 22? Anyone?
The secured, encrypted one.
No, not because of that one.
Remote desktop.
Remote control, remote desktop.
Yeah, in case troubleshooting purpose and debugging purpose, in the front end use case or user console is compromised, this firewall is got compromised. Example, consider maybe attacker is compromised firewall itself by doing the brute force attack. Whether it is possible or not? Yes, it is.
Yes.
In that scenario, so we have to go to the where this firewall is deployed, the data center we have to go, and we have to give the physical label connectivity using RJ45 or maybe Ethernet cable connectivity to our laptop to our firewall. Then you can log into through CLI, command line interface. So that is possible via SSH port. That is meant by this one. So mainly we can use SSH mainly for the to see the packet capture analysis, to see about debugging, troubleshooting, everything, something it's happened. But nowadays, even we have CLI here itself, where we can see CLI under,
On the top
yeah, here.
side.
Okay. So that is about SSH port and telnet port. Telnet port number is 23. So to log into one system to another system, using Unix also we can log in here. And so this idle timeout is mainly for all these through either HTTPS using web browser you're accessing, either through SSH or maybe through using telnet also. Idle time, if it is more than 30 minutes, automatically your web browser will be log out. So that is the meaning here. ACMA interface here. So this one, so whatever listening port basically, mainly through NATing purpose we can use. So our local interface or LAN interface can be configured to WAN interface. That is why happening WAN uplink port 36. So that is the WAN interface link. It is like a NATing kind of thing. So they configured under this one, and all these things also it is happening via this WAN link interface only. And single sign-on right now.
So basically, why it is used? I mean, to like uploading purpose or something?
No, this one is mainly for the listening purpose. So how these port, yeah, listening meaning here based on this port listening, not about uh, communication purpose, and also port listening purpose. We can use this port, and these ports, whatever it's open, it is accessing via this WAN interface only. Any doubt? Okay. So single is a single sign-on, and Portinet they have their own single. Port SSO. So what are the other solution for SSO side? We have Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, and Okta. All these are single sign-on. Even Fortinet they have their own single sign-on, inbuilt sign-on. So that is Forti sign-on. So that is this one here. So if you want to enable, we can enable this one, and we have to provide the whether how it is accessing and how we are accessing these particular device. Okay. So that is port is sign on. So nothing but first of all, you have to use the authenticator, whatever Fortinet is providing in our mobile. Using that authenticator only we can access. FortiSS, one of the Google Play Store, one of the app also there. Even Forti client also, one of the app is there. We have to download that one and we have to register using barcode. So our QR code, and then you can use this particular profile. And password policy here, there are everything. It's for administrator or IPsec for both everything. So already password policy, what we can define, you know about that one. Uppercase, lowercase, everything it is possible and configured under the password scope here. This mainly for the administrator profile and also IPsec. Why we can use IPsec in the Fortinet or any other firewall? What is the reason? Why we can use IPsec?
VPN connection.
VPN connectivity, that's right. If you want to form a tunnel and if you want to connect VPN, so VPN connectivity purpose and also to log into the administrator via this FortiGate firewall, we can use this password policy for these two only, not for other like a user related profile. And workflow management, so everything like automation and automatically it will save that configuration. There is no need to do anything. For example, maybe I created one of the policy under the policies and objects tab. So maybe, so if you want to forget this save, it will automatically save that configuration. So that is mean by this one. And policies expire by default, it is 30 days. So if you don't hit any policy, whatever policies we configured, it's a fine tuning. One of the audit also we have to do. So in case I created one of the new policy and past 30 days, it is not hitting, what firewall will do now? What firewall will do?
It will by default remove it.
Exactly, it will default, but I can say here 90 days is a better option. Don't think like by judging, okay, 30 days itself, we have to hit the policy and alert should be triggered, or maybe block or deny or allow will be happen. It's not that one. It's better you can keep 90 days. 30 days maybe new attacks not possible, or maybe that policy maybe hitting is not possible. Better we can keep 90 days. And so view setting language is English and theme is security fabric. And or you want to change any other something, you can change that one also. And date and time, FortiGate time zone. So whatever NTP is integrated, that time zone basically. And NGF mode is profile based and policy based. So what is profile based and what is policy based here? Which one is better? Policy based is better or profile based is better? First of all, what is profile based and what is policy based here? Profile based meaning here, whatever security profile we configured, according to that one only, whenever any abnormal or malicious suspicious activity is happening, it has to do the respective blocking part. Policy based meaning here, what are policies we configured, according to that one we can enter a question this one. What is the difference between profile based versus policy based, and which one is more utilized one? Okay, so obviously it is a profile based. So meaning here we have different types of security profiles, and all these security profiles we have to configure, and these security profiles where we have to enable, where we have to enable, where we have to enable all these security profiles.
Firewall.
Yeah, in the firewall, which tab? Policies tab. First we have to configure all these security profiles: antivirus, web filter, URL, content filtering, video filter, DNS filter, all these different types of policies we have to configure. Okay, so sorry, profiles we have to configure. After configuring, we have to define these profiles under the policy. So that policy tab is missing. Sometimes this firewall is acting as abnormal activity. Okay, so maybe right now we can see under the network also only 3 profiles. We are not able to see RIP, AGRP, OSPF, BSP, BGP, and multicast, static route, dynamic route, all those. Even
Sir,
it is, yeah.
in another one I have, sir. Green one will come now. In that,
Which green one?
there are two different. This is the red one, and again we have another green one, same like this one. Is sir.
Yeah,
Second one.
that is what I am saying. It depends what is the time and date, and we are axing from where we are axing. Yesterday evening, I'm able to see all the options, but
Now
today I'm
also
not.
is this. Now also is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends where you are accessing, from which IP, through which ISP router, and where are you located. Depends on all these parameters. Clear? Yesterday evening, I was checking. I was able to access all those parameters. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, once the tab will come, in case if it's missing in my system where I am logging, then you can share your screen. Is that be okay? Yeah. Under the settings here, it's not completed yet. Yeah, once we'll go to there, that one we can check. So what is policy based and okay, so proxy based here, profile based and policy based. Profile based is basically for the whatever profiles we are configuring. According to that one, it will detect, identify, alert, and also monitor. So that is called profile based. And what is policy based? Policies also we can configure after completing the profile, and these profiles we have to enable in the policy side. So in the at the time of theoretical, we discussed about how to create a policy. We defined rule name, rule number, source zone, destination zone, source IP, destination IP, source user, destination user, port protocol, app, and also action, security profile, and also finally uh, log or bytes. Did you remember that concept? Firewall rule creation or firewall policy creation. No, we provided social networking website,
Yes,
BitTorrent, Facebook, all
yes,
the
yes.
Table
yeah, that is
create.
the one.
Access control rules.
Yes, correct. Yeah, access controls is nothing but policies only. Okay, either this mode of the detection, whether you want to do profile based or policy based. You can use policy also, profile also. Anything is fine. And next one is a central net. In case if you are in profile based, we have to use static net. And policy based, there is no need of using net. And what is virtual domain? VDOM, VDOM DOM, virtual domain or VDOM.
When we use the hypervisor for
Yeah, that's correct. On top of this 1801 F14.8 firewall, if you want to configure any other virtual firewall, example, on top of our physical laptop using VirtualBox from Oracle, or may using VMware ESXi or NSXi, if you want to create any virtual machines. Okay, so that is creating of virtual machines or creating of the virtual machines via VMware or via Oracle. In the same way, on top of this physical so firewall device, if you want to create any other firewall, so like a virtual firewall, we can use virtual domain. Interior question: what is VDOM in Fortinet firewall? What is VDOM in Fortinet firewall? What is the answer? What is the answer?
it is a virtual machine where we can deploy onto the
Yes,
firewall.
it is. Yeah, we can create multiple firewalls from on top of the whatever physical firewall we purchase. We can call it as virtual domain or VDOM in short. So compulsory interior question this one. So here two interior questions are there, guys. One is what is the firewall mode of the deployment and what is the virtual domain or VDOM. We can expect more into VDOM side. Okay, so I'll write that one also here. Fortinet firewall mode of the deployment mode configuration using profile based. Second one,
Policy.
policy based. So profile here. So security profiles configurations. So when the packet is entering, it will do the top to bottom approach based on this security profiles validation. And second is policy based on the rules or access control. Okay, so that is about firewall mode configuration. Next one is VDOM. VDOM is virtual domains. It can be used to create multiple virtual
Firewall.
Firewalls. So as per 1801, how many virtual firewalls we can configure as per our product sheet? Did you see yesterday? 10 to 100 in between, I think. So as per the yesterday, whatever virtual, product sheet we downloaded, under that one, we have VDOMs also. So on top of this 1801, we can configure, I think, 10 plus. Yeah, virtual domains 10 to 250. These many things we can configure. So 10 is minimum and 250 is maximum. So we can create, okay, so 10 to 250 virtual machines or virtual DOMs. Okay. So what is static net? How many nets are there?
Static and dynamic net.
And
Only two?
Hybrid one, I think.
Hybrid.
Fortinet.
That is not hybrid. That is, it will work as hybrid, but we cannot say hybrid. What that one name is? What is another name for hybrid?
Is it cloud?
Mixed.
What is that mixed is called as? Someone said already. Ramesh, I think.
Yes, Fortinet.
Portnet. Static net, dynamic net, and portnet. Okay, so we should not say hybrid net. Combination of the single IP to single private IP to single public IP is called static. So multiple private IPs to single IP is called as dynamic. And also static IP with port number with public IP with port number. Multiple IP private numbers with port number to public IP port number is called as portnet. So there are three different types of net. That is also entire question. So next one, startup settings. Allow for converter to obtain configuration file once, or whether you want to for more than one. So if it is once, only we have to allow one. And auto file system check. So automatically it will check. USB auto install, whether you want to configure or you want to copy anything through USB, you can enable yes. And disk settings and mode and assignment. So by default, you can keep all these things. There is no need to change anything here. So that is about overall system settings. Under this one, only main important things are, one is integrating with NTP and time zone definition, and also accessing of this particular device via through HTTP or HTTPS, through SSH and through Telnet, and finally through what is virtual node, virtual DOM or VDOM, and how the firewall deployed and that mode of the deployment here. Okay. So that is our setting. These are all initial settings configuration. Remaining everything we can configure as a simple one. So this main one, this is important question. This one also regularly you can expect if you are going for implementation side. And high availability. So when we discussed about high availability, I said one of the thing high availability based on what parameter we can configure. Which one is primary and which one is secondary?
Election setting.
Election settings are
Score, priority score.
priority score. So for always primary device score is
High.
compared to
Secondary.
yes. So this is what right now it is deployed this firewall as a active passive. So that will be showing NGFW PRI. What is PRI meaning here?
Primary.
Primary. That means already they have secondary or backup as well. So what is the device priority they given?
100.
And what is the second backup, secondary or backup related device priority?
Maybe less
It
than
will be
90.
less than
Yes,
100.
entire question. High availability can be configured based on what parameter? All these are entire question. If you are going for dedicated to firewall vacancy, that may be implementation level, that may be L3 level. L1, L2, we cannot expect all these, especially implementation side. Okay, we can expect all these entire questions. So one is device priority. If it is Fortinet, So if it is Palo Alto, we can call it as election settings. So that is about a high availability side. Give me 1 second. I will drink water and I'll come back. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So that is about device priority. So in the Palo Alto, we can say device priority, but if are going for Palo Alto, sorry, in the Fortinet, we can say device priority. If are going Palo Alto election settings, and if are going for even Cisco Manager or Juniper or other checkpoint firewalls, we can call device priority only. Okay. So this also another testable interior question. All these are interior questions only. Don't ignore. Okay. So before going any firewall vacancy, please brush up or theoretical part and all these whatever demo we are discussing. So we can expect more into all these different types of questions. Okay, so device priority here and cluster settings, group ID. So we have to create group ID for primary and group ID for secondary 100 here, and group name they given NJW demo high availability and password. So why we have to always configure? There are 3 different types high availability modes we can deploy before going to all these. One is standalone. Standalone meaning here single
Single.
location, single firewall. No, not single location, single firewall. I don't want primary backup firewall or secondary firewall. I don't have sufficient money to purchase 2 devices. Okay. So for example, you purchased your mobile. For that one, charging is okay. Normal charger is fine, but I don't want any backup charger or power bank. It is not required for me. So that is called standalone. And the active. Active is good or active passive is good. Any idea?
Active pass.
Active passive is
What is the reason?
Backup is passive means
Backup,
backup
Here also
is
active, another active
and
also will act as a backup only.
but multiple
those
location,
are
single
I
firewall.
think distributed deployment, single, not single.
Single
No,
firewall.
it's for multiple also, single also. Active, what is the problem?
conflict.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Conflict it will occur. So even though it will exchange hello messages in between these two, it will get confusion whether opposite device is acting as active or not. So we are not sure. And also for active, so there is no always 2 firewall priorities same. It will not change. So always better you can go with active passive here. Active conflict will occur. One is confusion will occur before going to which one it will act as a primary and which one it will as a secondary. So to eliminate the drawback, always 99% of the firewall deployments we can use active passive or primary secondary or primary backup or what is another name? What is another name?
Master and slave.
Master and
Master
slave.
and slave. Yes.
Active, then you will not have redundancy or backup, right?
Yeah, most of the cases we can use
No,
our
if at all
internal
they are
firewall
using
deployment.
active.
Yeah, that's what. If most of the cases we have 2 different types of firewalls. Perimeter set. Perimeter compulsory we have to deploy active passive only. Maybe internal firewall. So in between core switch and distributor switch, we can configure as a active. Even though it will go down, less risk and less severity, or less complexity of the risk is involved to our organization side.
And one more thing you said about data center firewall, that also pertains to this internal firewall only,
Yeah, data center firewall, most of the cases internal firewall, correct. On premise or data, I mean internal firewall. Yeah.
which are deployed in trust zone.
Yes, yes. Trust zone, right.
And RK, the link which they have sent, right? We have more features.
Okay. Okay, let me check that one. And tomorrow shall I take class in morning or evening? Your wish.
Evening.
Morning, but I don't know, but the priority we have to give.
Yeah,
Should
this
be
is correct one basically. You're right. This virtual one, previous one is completely, I think, yeah, this virtual, you can see here, FortiGate VM64. You got it, right? This one is VM64. It's a virtual firewall. But previous 1801 is?
I think it's on premise.
Exactly. That is on-premise firewall. That hardware-based firewall. Are you comparing these two now? So this VM meaning a virtual firewall. And whatever previously I was discussing, this one is on-premise with hardware model number is 18001. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, main thing is a couple of times on-premise firewall. As I said, couple of options are missing, but couple of times we are able to see, and couple of times we are not able to see.
Sir, yesterday we have seen, but today.
That's right. Yeah. Anyways, so HA we are discussing. Now this one VM, this firewall is called as now. Any guess? Any
Virtual
guess?
firewall.
Virtual firewall on top of
Hardware firewall.
hardware firewall is 64. 64 is model number. Now this firewall is called as now. This firewall is called as now.
VDOM.
VDOM. That's right. VDOM. Now you got it right. So on top of the 64 model number of the firewall, they created one of the virtual firewall or virtual machine firewall. That model number is 64. Now this firewall is called as VDOM firewall. Okay.
One more thing, it's a router cum firewall or a normal firewall?
Sorry.
It's a router cum firewall or a normal firewall where we can use this.
It's a router. This is not router. This is a layer 3. It's using root model deployment only. No, only there is no router, just only firewall. Yeah.
Like a PFLs, we can use it both as router and firewall, right? So that is what I want.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah. Here are more options. Okay. Yeah, you can check both simultaneously. And the group name is Next Generation Firewall Demo High Availability. And whenever if you want to configure high availability, we have to give the peer. What is peer here?
Primary to secondary firewall.
Exactly. Okay, what is your peer home device? I mean, your house peer is who?
Neighbor.
Neighbor. In the similar opposite, house peer is your house. Same way. So here we have to give the group ID is 100. Maybe opposite device we can give 99, something like that. And group name is for both the firewalls. So it's an extension firewall. And password, okay, we can give. And heartbeat interfaces. What is this heartbeat interfaces?
Active one. Port.
Heartbeat interfaces, it will extend the hello communication between. How the automatically, yes, how the automatically primary firewall is go down, secondary firewall will come into picture based on the heartbeat messages. Heartbeat message also called as
Ping.
no, hello messages. Heartbeat message or hello messages. Communication purpose, yes. In between two firewalls, we can always exchange the heartbeat or hello messages. Better you can use the term name is called heartbeat. So here they configured heartbeat messages like a port 1 and port 2. So HA interface 1 and HA interface 2. So these interface like high availability interface 1, high availability interface 2. What is monitor interface now?
We can check both the
Yes.
high
So
availability.
yeah, in case if it's going down, so then we can check the high monitoring purpose we can use whether high availability 1 and 2 it is showing as a active or not. And interfaces priority. So port number 80. So I mean high availability priority for first device is 50 and second device is 30. Okay, primary firewall is device is 50 and secondary firewall is 30. Okay, so here also I think same thing, but here they did not specify the short bit interfaces. But anyways, so whatever interfaces they configured, we can let's go and see here. Under network, we can see interfaces. Which one is configured as high availability? There is no high availability for this one. That's why they did not configure. So that way it is showing as FortiGate VM only. Is it clear? There is no high availability for this VM. So it is a normal firewall, standalone firewall. That's why they did not configure under this one firewall configuration related to high availability. So it's a standalone deployment. Okay, SNMP. How many versions of the SNMP we have and which one is better to use? And what is the important SNMP? And what is the port number?
4 versions.
4 versions or 3 versions?
Latest one is 4, but still we are using 3 and
3.1. Okay. And what is the version difference between version 1, 1, 2? First of all, what is SNMP?
Simple network mailing protocol.
Mailing protocol.
Management protocol.
Management protocol. Port number?
Port number it's 161.
161. Okay. Why we have to use this one?
To manage the devices in your network.
Only for manage the devices?
Or monitoring.
Discovering of networks. Discovering of networks.
Discovery as well as manage and monitoring. That's correct. Discovery, once you are configuring the SNMP in the router and switch, we'll come to know how many network, like a host discovery policy. Where we are in host discovery policy?
VM.
Vulnerability management and the necessary tool to know about in case assets information is not available. So we have to use the host discovery policy and we have to schedule the policy and we have to complete the policy and we have to segregate based on the OS. Same way here also. So we are enabling the SNMP. It will identify how many network device, not only network, including endpoints, routers, switches, load balancers, application, everything it will gather and it will give the overall summary. That is called SNMP. It will do the discovery and also even we can do the managing of all the devices and maintain we can all those devices. So that is the important of SNMP. And what is the difference between 1, 2, and 3?
Encryption one.
Encrypted
1 and 2 doesn't have
plain
that
and
much.
text, both
Plain
are.
Yeah,
text
1 and 2 is a plain text and 3 is like an encrypted one. So that is the main difference. So we can see here. So they configured on the physical firewall. Yeah, they configured, but they are using SNMP version 1 and version 2. But which one we have to use? SNMP
version 3.
version 3. Yeah, we should not configure this one. It's a plain text one. So here we have to use this one, SNMP version 3. Next one is replacement messages. What is mean by replacement messages? This one in the Palo Alto, you can call it a captive portal. In the Palo Alto, replacement messages we can call captive portal. What is mean captive portal or what is mean replacement messages here? In the Juniper and Cisco also we can call it as captive portal only. Whenever someone, for example, you are accessing one of the malicious website, or you are accessing the firewall, or you are accessing the one of the malicious blocked URL link. So if it is malicious blocked URL link, what firewall will show now? What firewall will show?
Blocked.
It is a blocked one. Please contact your this particular website is a blocked as per your company rules and regulations. Please contact your network administrator to unblock this particular URL link. And also, in case if you are logging this firewall, If you are getting any authentication failure, what you can see? Firewall login authentication failure attempt. All these replacement messages are through HTML. They will configure. Whenever some of the things are showing, for example, you can see here login failed page. Click on this one. This is what I'm saying. Backend they will use the HTML programming language, and how it will say once you are giving the wrong password. So instead of the demo, you given maybe demo with capital D and the demo and maybe wrong password. It will show like authentication failure. So authentication failed. This particular page, whatever it is replying, this one is called as a replacement message or captive portal. Enter a question. What is meant by captive portal in Palo Alto, or what is meant by replacement message in the FortiGate firewall?
Wrong
It can be
answer.
used. It can be used to verify the status of the appropriate action what the end user is doing. Okay. So here it is showing as HTML format, and this one is called as, what is this page is called as?
GUI.
End
User.
user. Yeah, graphical interface with user can understand easily. So that is about example of the login failed. In the similar way, one of the malicious website you are accessing, that is showing as malicious content. FortiGuard intrusion prevention access is blocked. Web page is blocked. The page you have requested has been blocked because the URL is banned. Okay. So please contact administrator so that maybe if it is malicious, he will verify and he will give the. So now who is blocking this one? IPS capability. So they created for the IPS. So that is the way. So there are configured the different types of the replacement messages related to authentication, web filtering. Web filtering also we can see. FortiGuard intrusion prevention access is blocked. Web page is blocked. Okay.
This is mainly for users to understand what
User to understand what's going on. That's right. Yeah.
This is only for communication purpose, right?
Communication
Message.
purpose to see about end user. If the end user is doing HTML format, whether he will understand.
No.
Exactly. So that is the reason they made like a development to see whenever any abnormal activity is going on. So these replace messages can be see from the user point of view. In the real-time world also, same as this we can see. Even couple of times you are a part of SOC team and you don't have the firewall and you are access the malicious web content. You can see this website is blocked based on your company norms or company rules and regulations. Okay.
Because of the preset policy.
Yes. So this is replacement message or captive portal. Okay.
And
So
in that, we don't have any access to edit it, right? Even the implementation.
no, we can't do that one. To get the web page information, or communication channel to end user.
What action has been taken?
Yeah, what action has been taken? Yes. So that is called replacement messages or captive portal. So next one is FortiGuard. FortiGuard already provided, so it will provide with the regular updates. So whatever licenses we purchased, that may be antivirus or DLP or encryption, content filtering, web filtering, sandboxing, and also Forti analyzer capabilities, or firmware version, software version, everything can be configured using FortiGuard. There is no need to configure here. Just to, okay, we can see what are the new updates are coming. So these are the right now license information, advanced malware protection, and advanced surface security rating, and DLP, email spam, IPS, and also what is security, web filtering. All these are licensed one. And here you can see the latest version also. FortiGuard latest version when it is showing all these one. So we can get the regular updates. You can see here. Okay, that is okay, fine. FortiGuard updates, scheduled updates, whether you want to update every what is that? What is every?
Every day, I think.
Every day or
Daily,
every week?
daily, weekly, automatic. What is the option we have to give? Automatic.
Automatic.
Whenever vendor is releasing updates, automatically it has to update. There is no need to come here. There is no need to do many manual updates. Okay. So for example, today, Fortinet vendor is released couple of antivirus updates based on the threat intelligence feeds. One of the new ransomware attack or new virus category of that kits happen. Now it will release one of the patch. So that patch it want to update part of the antivirus profile under the security profile side. It will update the patch in the database. And if you want to get that patch to our organization, it has to update automatic way. Okay. So this
where we have threat feeds for
where we have
threat feeds.
threat feeds, basically by default it is integrated. We cannot see threat intelligence feeds. Maybe we can see only what's going on as a notification side.
Okay, because you said it will automatically update it, right? So
Yeah, that is completely backend. Forti Sandbox and FortiGuard, they are integrated. They have their own R&D team, right? So
okay.
they will update the database. So those updates it will come automatically. And if you want to get those updates, we can see under the notification here. What's going on? What are new threats, new releases Fortinet is doing? All those things under the bell notifications here.
Does the update make the functionality slow, sir?
No, see, if you are doing the overall software or OS or firmware upgrade, it will make so easy, you are right, slow. But these are like apps only, so it will not make that much change, that much issues or performance related issues part.
Oh, as we are only like enabling automatic updates for threat intelligence feeds, it is fine. But if you are upgrading it to any other version or
No, if it is
anything,
OS version, we have to check what we have to. What is the process?
Change management request.
Change management request is mandatory. Reboot is required once we are upgrading to the latest version.
It's
That's
like
what
a
we did.
hot fix, right? Which we are
Yes,
doing.
exactly. Hot fix, and also couple of times even they release the new patch, bugs will be there. If bug will be there without proper testing, vendor is releasing the patch. So then in that scenario, so our test will be failure. That is the reason. What did I say? Whenever if you want to upgrade firewall, what is the condition?
Change
Not-
ITIL
window.
in after doing change management and all, if you are upgrading it, then like for a backup, can we use like the other one in the same
No, before
firewall?
going to upgrade, I am saying before going to upgrade, we only one precaution we have to take.
We
Our
need
prerequisites. What is that?
Image we have to
we
take.
need to disconnect.
No, that's okay. All this before you are saying about okay, connect disconnect from contact with the vendor. Whatever latest software release, general availability they release to the public. Is there any bugs are available, or hot fixes are available, or any issues are available? So that okay. So maybe tomorrow they are related to the 7.4.4 without checking the vendor. We should not go and we should not upgrade. Please take the confirmation from the vendor. Is there existing customer? Is there all over the worldwide? Any customer has done the upgrade already, and also they faced any issues or not. That the precaution or prerequisites you have to consider. This is what I have done the mistake. I said already.
Sir, if we are the first customer to upgrade, how they
Then we have to wait. We have to wait for some more days, some other days.
And one more thing, whether the vendor will say the true one or not, we don't know, right?
That is also correct one only. Yeah, if vendor will say, or yeah, couple of times they will say lie also, but most of the cases they will not reveal the customer name because it's a confidential. So they will say like based on their testing environment. May see testing also they will not do only one environment. There are 3 environments are available after development is completed. One is called CIS, one is called MIS, one is called user acceptance test. After completing these 3 only, then only they will list to the general availability or public. So maybe if it is failed in the CS, maybe they'll rectify in the MAS. If they are if it is failed in the MAS also, then we have one more. So based on 3 tests is completed successfully, then only they will list to the general availability. Even though test is failed, we don't have any other option. We have to revert back to our normal, and we have to postpone our. We have to postpone our.
Upgrade.
Exactly. Same thing I have done one time. Without contacting to respect to port Palo Alto and Juniper. So I already upgraded to firewall. in the same day when we are implementing the firewall upgrade. And I brought network team and I brought application team along with me to client location. And finally, when I was upgrading, so it is taking longer time to save and longer time to commute that overall or configuring the saves. It took approximately 2.5 years. 2.5 years, sorry, 2.5 hours. We are waiting whether it will complete or not, complete or not, complete or not. Finally, it did not complete. And we provide only 4 hours of the SLA to complete entire change request. Finally, in the last 15 minutes, what we have done, we have to revert back. So we have backup configuration file is available. And finally, we close the window. So we cancel that, we close the ticket. And once again, after 2 weeks time period, we raise change request once again, and we implement production environment. Okay. So that's why
Sorry,
all these precautions we have to take.
sir, if
And
it
can
requires
we do that
for a minute,
environment?
and if it is not like taking too long to come online again, then we will be missing some of the traffic which
Yeah,
WAF cannot.
that's why you can see whether it is revert back. And also, as I said, once you are uploading, just like that, okay, you have to you can monitor for at least 1 day for testing everything, all the applications working or not. Yes, once you will upgrade, obviously 1 or 2 days you will see performance issues, obviously. So later only it will work properly. So and still you are facing issues, you can revert back and you can approach the vendor even though upgraded performance issues are coming, and you can postpone and you can revert back.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
welcome.
This will be first deployed into the temporary environment, even we do it.
Yeah, it's better to do the temporary environment if you have the sandboxing. We have lab is available by the way. When I was working in X company, we have testing environment and we created around eight desktop, sorry, 4 laptops and 4 desktops, and one of the server and one of the database and application server, and finally firewall and also SIM tools. All these things are available in the one of the lab kind of setup we have done, because we are system integrators. We are system integrator. What is mean system integrators? So that people are like a consulting and service based company like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and all these. So if anything we are going to implement in the client environment, before day itself, we used to practice everything. Because once we are reaching the client environment, we have to succeed all those configuration, whatever we want to do.
Then there
Otherwise,
should not be any delay in the
exactly,
monitoring.
customer will blame us. Not only just for sorry, what I want to say, not only just for upgrades, even for configuring of the SIM tools or EDR or DLP or firewalls, all other tools I used to practice in the lab environment. One of the, do you know what? One of the knock tool that is called Riverbard knock tool. That initial stage of my career. If you want to, we took the image and we have done. Total, it has taken approximate 72 hours to complete the overall image processing. And Fluke Riverbud side, one of the guy came from the USA, sorry, Netherlands. So then we started image, and so unfortunately bug is available, and we are testing continuously overall day and night. And finally, we are contacted the Riverbud support team, and they came to online. That issue is resolved after 3 days only. But finally, next day we have to complete. Within 1 week, we have to move to that one production environment. If same thing without testing all these things, if are going into production environment to configure these knock tool, knock is nothing but network operations center. Yeah. So first 2 years I worked on the knock only. First 2 years. Later I migrated to say endpoint security, network, and application, and so on. Okay. So yeah, that is what it will happen sometimes. All these issues as well. And feature availability or feature validation. So these many features will be supported by our Fortinet firewall. So all these are some of the cases our features are equivalent to licenses part. Okay. So advanced routing, these are all core features. IPsec VPN tunnel, IPv6 switch controller, WAN and app. So cache and Wi-Fi controller, wireless LAN controller. Security features are all. These security features are nothing but almost equivalent to anyone.
Firewall security profiles.
Exactly, firewall security profiles. For everything we have to configure as a firewall security profile. Okay. App control, DLP, DNS filter, email filter. Okay. Proxy, file filter, file blocking, CASB and IPS, video filter, virtual patching, web application firewall, web filter, or river filter, content filtering. So all these are different types of features will be supported by firewall. And whenever you're keeping two firewalls in your resume, we can expect comparison between the two firewalls also. That I forgot to discuss in the class. Maybe tomorrow morning I will explain that one. Certificates. So certificates here. What is certificate used? Did you check this one? Whether it is third party or whether it is internal? So port in it directly.
Self-serve.
No, DZ set. DZ set. It's a third party. This set is a third party company. They purchase certificate from third party. But what these certificates are? These certificates are.
To use some of the features, they buy these certificates.
These certificates are self-signed certificates. If I don't want to purchase for this one, purchase CS certificate, I can I can generate the certificate here. I can generate the certificate here and I can use that one also. Okay.
So if at all we are generating, we need this one also, right? Like authentication purpose.
Yes. So we need certificate name. We need all these location and we need comments and we need the serial number. Everything is required.
To access this particular, like SSL here, which we have. For that also, we should have authority from certificate of,
No, it's
giving.
not required. Authority is not required in this scenario. Whenever you are generating self-signed certificate, there is no need of authority and there is no need of pay any money to the authority. So we can generate in the tool itself. That's what I said, the two different types of certificates. One is self-signed and purchased CA. Self-signed we can generate in either server or tool. Did you remember that differences? In the
I got
application
this.
security, under the cryptography, we discussed about digital signature concept under the integrity.
Yeah.
Under the integrity, we discussed about so integrity is depending on three parameter hashing algorithm, HMAC, and digital signature. And the digital signature, we discussed about certificates, correct? Under there we discuss self-signed and also CS certificate. Self-signed we can purchase, we can download this one here itself, and you can upload in this one. But this one is accessed by multiple people all over the worldwide. Whether any authenticity can be provided by the end user. That is the reason we have to purchase the certificate. Always, as I said, please remember one thing. For internal certificates, always we have to use self-signed internal websites like pay slips or HR portal or maybe our internal tools. For all those things we can use. Maybe this tool is belongs to my organization and I am not exposed to the public. Whether I have to purchase CS certificate?
No.
It's not required, correct? Yeah. So that is about certificate. And these are all the initial security configuration, guys. So these are all the initial security configuration we have to configure from the system side. One is NTP and one is administrative profile through HTTPS. And we have to configure with high availability and we have to configure with SNMP and also settings. So these are all the couple of things we can configure initially. Okay. So next one, I will go with the user and authentication. So user definition here, user definition meaning here who has the access to this firewall. So how they are accessing this firewall, whether right now we are accessing through two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, whether we are accessing any multi-factor authentication.
No.
Just we are giving demo, correct? But in the practical real-time world, whether we have to give the multi-factor authentication or not.
Yes.
Yes, that is right. We have to give the multi-factor authentication also. So that's why we have the Porty authenticator. One of the option name is called Porty authenticator. It's for multi-factor authentication provided by Fortinet itself. So we have to download this one from the Google Play Store, and we have to register with our username and password and also QR code. And whenever you are accessing this one, after entering the username and password, it will ask or authenticator code or OTP, then we have to enter that OTP. So that is multi-factor authentication. Okay. User groups, here grouping of the similar type of people. So similar to like what we discussed about under the vulnerability management and so forth. All L1 are one group, or L2 are one group, or L3 are one group. In such a way, grouping of all those employees is called as user groups. Guest management. So if you want to provide any guest, so whether we'll give the permanent access to them.
No.
Yeah. So their user ID, their okay. I have one doubt now. For guest user, whether we'll give static IP or dynamic IP.
Static IP.
Static IP. Why not dynamic? Or why not static?
Dynamic, it will change and we can't monitor them.
Exactly, that's right. For guest users, for 1 day, 2 days, I cannot configure his name in the Active Directory. Will I or shall I? So what is DHCP here? So we have to configure the Active Directory name. Without Active Directory, whether he can access? Whether without Active Directory group, whether he can access? Is a part of the domain, correct? That is the reason always we have to give the static IP to log into the system, not dynamic IP or DHCP. Okay, most of the cases, not most of the cases. So we'll give the static IP to the guest users whenever they want to access, for example, maybe vendors. Maybe one of the FortiGate vendor, they came to our office because I don't know how to configure a site-to-site VPN. We call them to configure site-to-site VPN. Okay, maybe one of the DLP tool. I don't know how to implement DLP tool, but we got the project from the State Bank of India. We have partnered with Forcepoint DLP. So then we call Forcepoint DLP to, okay, maybe State Bank of India location or maybe our location, remote or virtual, you want to configure the DLP. Then we have to give the static IP. And additionally, after giving their enter name here, through which interface they want to expert, how many days. This concept in cloud is called as. Any idea? Anybody working in the cloud? This concept providing the temporary access in the cloud is called as just in time. Whether IAM or PAM. Whether this option providing the access is PAM or IAM.
PAM.
Least privilege or temporary access or privilege access management. This is a PAM, not IAM. Right. So next one is LDAP server. So LDAP server, what is port number?
636 for LDAPs.
Mm.
LDAP is 389.
389. Yeah. So whom we have to whom we have to contact to get this information?
Active Directory.
Active Directory team. Yes. We have to provide the name of the Active Directory here, server name, and server port number is 389. Okay. If it is LDAPs is 636, that's correct. Common name is CN name. So every Active Directory has CN name. That CN name we have to give here. Okay, distinguished name also we have to get it from the Active Directory team or Windows team itself. And Extend server, all these details. Finally, after completing these details, we have to give test connectivity. So whether we configure this concept in the Sophos EDR and vulnerability management. What is Sophos EDR option in the Sophos EDR tool option? This one is called as in the Sophos side. Sorry.
Administrative.
First one is the directory
Use
service
of-
and administration. One is on-premise Active Directory. Second one is Microsoft Active Directory and Google Active Directory.
Cloud.
Yeah, cloud.
Azure.
Yes. So yeah, that is about here. And here it is not showing. Let's go and see here. Go back to LDAP server. You can see here. So name of the Active Directory, server IP address and port number 389 because it is using LDAP. Common name. This one also should be provided by our Windows administrator, sys administrator, and distinguished name. This one also will be provided by our Windows administrator. If they don't configure any dedicated account to us, then just you can share your screen and they will give or they will enter the username and password. Okay, why we have to integrate Active Directory LDAP? What is the reason? Why we have to integrate Active Directory or LDAP into the all these
Track
tools?
the
Users
to
to
track the
identify.
when and
Yeah, to
the
track. So whenever something is got compromised, if you don't have the proper visibility or proper tracking, mainly for visibility side, tracking side. So if we are integrating this one, we should come to know what is the IP address and what is the username and host name. So from where they are accessing everything, we can see it. Okay. So that is about LDAP and radius. What is radius? Another server in the networking side,
Access plus
access server. So
broadcast
this is a network based authentication or it is a endpoint authentication?
network.
network.
Network based. Okay. So one is radius and one is access. That's right. So mainly for the remote access daily user control. That is, so same thing. So if the end user accessing via network side, then we have to integrate with our radius server. So here we have to provide the name of the respected radius server. And who is given the name of the radius and access? Which vendor? Who given the name of the radius and access?
Cisco.
Cisco. That's right. Yeah. And IP address and the secret key. Secret key is nothing but password. So one is radius server primary and radius server is secondary. So here two. Okay. So just we have to get the information from the network team. This one we will not maintain. A radius server can be configured network administrator or networking team. So single sign-on already this one we discussed. In case if you are using whether Fortinet based single sign-on, they have their own single sign-on Forti SSO, or whether you want to use third party. So like a Okta or Microsoft or Google Authenticator, we can use that one also. So we can provide the name of the respective single sign-on and certification and entity ID and certificate and identity provider identity. So this information we have to get it from. Who will give this information to us now? Whether we know about all this information, who will provide this identity of single sign-on?
Vendor.
Vendor who? No, not vendor. Within our organization.
Admin team.
Admin team. Which admin team? If it's Okta, dedicated Okta administrator will be there. Otherwise, we have to contact Windows administrator, sys administrator, most of the cases. Or otherwise, a couple of companies, network administrator will take care of everything. We have to ask either of the Okta administrator, if it is Okta dedicated solution, or Windows administrator, or local IT team, or network administrator, depends. And authentication settings here, that is mainly for these, okay, more than one way of authentication. Authentication settings here, authentication scheme and captive portal type. Captive portal type replacement messages are given, right? How that replacement message it will appear through HTML through fully qualified domain name. Yeah, this is what I was saying, that one. And user authentication option. So how this firewall can be accessed? How this firewall can be accessed?
Login.
One is through HTTP, one is through HTTPS, one is through FTP, one is through Telnet. So these are the four options how we can access this particular firewall. And even though you are connected through HTTP, that will redirect to
HTTPS.
HTTPS. That one is called a CNAME record, canonical record. Already we have seen this one under the systems. And the porty token. What is porty token? Why we can use porty token?
For the sessions.
Single sign-on, multi-factor authentication. I said already. Yeah.
RSA token like that.
RSA token, like RSA token. We have to download porty token Google Play Store. I think Play Store it is available, that one.
Yes, sir. 40 VPN, 14 something.
Porty token will be available, I think. Okay, no. Once you are purchasing the license, then only we can see it. And you have to use that license key and QR scanning, then only it will appear. Otherwise, it will not appear. Okay. So porty token is mainly like RSA token, and we have to download this app in the our mobile, and whenever after giving the username and password to enter into the our FortiGate Demo-2, like username and password. Additionally, it will ask token number. The token number we have to provide here. Okay. So that is called
Same,
porty token.
Same for Surface, it has asked us. I have downloaded it. So
Yes, same. Even I provided the PIN number, correct. Even QR, it asks about two options. One is through QR code, one is through PIN number. So for one of the email address, I given QR code, and one of the URL, email address, I given token number. Okay, guys, that's all for today morning. We completed only two here: a system and user and authentication. All these are initial security configurations or implementation. We did not come to main portion at all. So that is under completely profiles and objects. So that we can discuss later. Yeah, please let me know tomorrow what time I will take the class. Shall I take the class?
Morning.
Okay, for me anytime is fine.
take in the morning 2 minutes.
Morning around 9.
Yeah.
Okay then. So tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock class here. So it
So
will
we
take
have
another 4 classes, this Fortinet itself. Because you should understand each and every tab. That is important for me. Not about how many days we'll take it. It's okay.
we have evening class.
Evening I will let you know. I have doubt. That's why I said tomorrow. Okay. Let me check. I will confirm by around 2 o'clock or
Oh,
maybe around 3 o'clock. Yeah. Okay,
Guys.
guys. Then. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Take care.